Hello, everybody. We are the Gelatinous Dudes.
Oh my
My name is Keegan. This is my best buddy Jake, and we love talking about tabletop RPGs. And so we are going to answer some people's tabletop
Oh
RPG
my
questions, advice, stories.
It's happening. It
We did it, Jake.
We did
the intro.
Let's
Immediately.
fucking go.
Start of episode. Nailed the intro, dude.
Nailed the intro. We fucking did it. Goddamn. Damn near professionals, honestly.
Dude, the haters said we couldn't do it, man.
The haters. The hater was me.
Dude, we haven't had a hater yet. That's actually kind of an interesting thought. Because we've had like an actual an email now, somebody like interacting with the show, and so it's only a matter of time till we get somebody that interacts with it in a negative way, and that's gonna be interesting.
It will be a little bit wild when someone's just like, I actually think that you guys are idiots.
I think this show sucks, and that one guy sounds I don't know, just some
This
personal
guy's
ass
voice
thing about...
makes me want to off myself. Can we
Yeah,
fix
literally.
this?
It's gonna be a sad day. First hater, also kind of milestone though.
True. That's how you know you've gone somewhere.
True.
All right, I've got something here for you.
Let me hear it.
From Playful Session 7899 on Reddit. How do I handle distractions during session? And he wrote an essay, so I shortened it down. I'm part of a bi-weekly D&D campaign with 4 players and a DM. We've been playing at the DM's house for the past 3 years in a small room that connects to the backyard. Recently, the distractions have been really piled up. DM's family moves through the space frequently, especially with the warmer weather, and now there's a new dog and 2 cats. The cats roam freely through an open window, and while the dog stays out of the room, it barks constantly when it's excited. I record sessions so I can transcribe notes later, but background noise from family guests and chores, like loud TVs or vacuuming, gets picked up, and it makes it hard to focus or transcribe cleanly. Today was the worst. It was loud, chaotic, and I completely shut down mid-session. My friends even had to pause to check in because it was so obvious I was overwhelmed. It's frustrating because it's not just an occasional issue, and it's starting to affect my enjoyment and engagement with the campaign. So I'm wondering, how do you handle playing in environments that are more distracting than immersive, especially when you're trying to stay focused and involved?
That's a really good question. Say it one more time. I don't know if I wasn't listening or if it wasn't specified. They're playing in person or online?
It doesn't say. No, it does. Taking place at the DM's house, so they're playing in person.
Okay, that's more difficult.
Yeah.
Well, because I was gonna say, I have 2 things I want to talk about in this. We'll address like this kind of question because I think it's kind of interesting. But then, secondarily, I think there's like other distractions that are very common in in the D&D space that I think are interesting to talk about. But so that's kind of tough. If they're playing online, and this could be advice for somebody that's playing online, I think it could be worth investing in like a decent mic that's not going to pick up on as much background noise, and there's like applications that help with that. Like I use NVIDIA Broadcast specifically, and that cuts out a lot of background noise. And so for recording, or if you're on Zoom or whatever, Discord, that is really helpful. But that's not what the question asker situation they're in. They're in person, and that's much more difficult.
Yeah, and we've had some pretty distracting spaces.
We have a player that brings his dogs, which we love the dogs, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
No,
I love that he brings the dogs, so this is definitely not like a negative thing. But
his dogs are also incredibly well behaved. So
that's true; they are very, very well behaved. But they're dogs, and so they bark or they run around or they got to go outside. So I understand that, and we've always played. In households where there's other
animals.
People animals or family for a long time. When we were younger, we had parents that were doing their own thing. So I definitely resonate with that. Honestly, I don't know that I have incredible advice for it. I think, I mean, if I would definitely like talk to your group about it, especially if you feel like you specifically are struggling with it, and see if they have any options of like, oh well, like we could close the the door so that the dogs don't come in the room that we're in, or something like there could be some options for you in that household. Also, there's like some my girlfriend uses these like little kind of like earbuds that have holes in them, so it's kind of like a lesser earplug, kind of thing. And they're for like concerts and stuff. It makes things like significantly quieter, so that there's not like ear damage and stuff. So that could be like an interesting option where it's like you're still going to hear all of your friends around you and stuff, but like some of that kind of louder or background stuff might not be like as draining and overstimulating. So I don't know. That could be an interesting option. What do you think, Jake?
We've played in a lot of places where there's, foot traffic. Like,
yeah.
Just recently we've basically gotten our own places, and it's been able to be more quiet. But
yeah,
even still now we have distractions. I think if you're not happy with like this location, like we've been pretty disappointed with some locations and have like tried to figure something out. It sounds like you guys are young enough that you're probably still living with family, so there's five people. You could find someone's house that's a little quieter. You might not have as much space, but it could be a better option.
Yeah, it could be time to have that talk about who else's house is available. You also could, like you said, they do, for just from the story, maybe sounded like they're younger, but maybe not. You could meet at like, a local game store to play, or
park,
or even like or a park or a library, or like there's definitely spaces that would be fine for that. So yeah, could be time to talk about something like that. The recording sessions is interesting.
So it says that they gave him the role of sole note taker, which is why he's recording sessions.
Interesting. That's cool. I like. Yeah, I like the idea. I can't imagine, and I guess I don't know how long they're playing. I can't imagine trying to listen back to like one of our sessions,
dude. Right? Yeah.
Because we play for like 5 hours. Plus, there's so much side talk and joking and all kinds of noises and stuff too. So, I think that would definitely be difficult for me. But you could maybe look into like a transcribing app, or like even I think like Google Docs even has like the option to like turn the mic on and start.
I know that
writing.
Google Docs, it will only do it for like 5 minutes at a time. So if you're playing like a really long session, that might not be.
Yeah,
there's a lot of AI tools now though that you might be able to like put in an MP3 and it takes stuff
and transcribes it. Yeah, I think that there's probably some tools for that. So that could be an interesting route of like not being so worried about, or not having to re-listen to that with all the background noise. You could transcribe it in some way, and then that also, if it's transcribed, you can pare it down way easier. You can delete a lot of that text that's like not necessary, or rewrite stuff if it transcribed it wrong or whatever. But yeah, that could be a really interesting tool. And then you have like a really extensive like written out notes that you can refer to, and like Control F to even search in. Like I think that would be a really stellar way to take notes.
I think that like just he's talking about like physical distractions. Well, I guess all distractions are probably physical. I know some are definitely mental.
Yeah, true.
But like it's the biggest one that I'm surprised didn't get mentioned in here is phones.
That's what I totally thought the post was going to be about when you said distractions. I'm like, it's phones, which that's a conversation I think is very worthy of having, because that is a big deal in D&D.
And it's obviously they're in person, but just like if you're playing an online session, like the distraction of having a computer in front of you is also like another point of discussion.
Yeah, it's we tried to play online for a while, especially during like COVID and stuff, and it was really difficult for our group. Like one, the distractions, also for us, like somebody's talking and their mic cuts out, and like you kind of miss some of their dialogue when they're role playing or whatever. It's like it just really takes you out of it.
And dude, I I struggle so hard when there's like sitting at my computer. I remember that we were playing, and I don't know why, but I just like opened Minecraft. I had Minecraft open or something, and I just started like hopping around.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely times in D&D, like, when someone else is having, like, a character moment where, like, I'm interested and I'm listening, but, like, you know, I'm not involved at all, so, yeah, so I'm definitely feeling, like, a little bit like, okay, well, you know, I'm just kind of chilling, and, yeah, that would be a time where, like, I probably might open my phone, you know, check a couple things or whatever, and so, yeah, on a computer or online, it gets
but we're,
exacerbated even worse.
Pretty good about not making it, like, bad. Like, we're not watching fucking Instagram reels or TikToks. Also, it's trying to have something going on, you know?
Yeah, we've never had like we've never had to make a rule about phones. Like, we've never had to like say anything and be like, okay, like no phones or, you know, or minimal or whatever, which I'm glad.
We did kick out a guy because he did spend the whole time doing dumb shit and sitting on his phone.
We'd kick out a guy, and then one of the reasons was kind of some phone usage, but there was also other reasons that played into that, so that wasn't. But yes, that was like one of the things. But yeah, most people that we've played with, it hasn't been a super big deal. But I could definitely see it getting there, and that's really hard because like they're adults, right? And so it's like, you know,
the park is a good idea. If you guys could all meet at a park, like,
yeah, I think that'd be fun.
That'd be fun. I do. Yeah. I do park session.
I would do it now. Even now, I think
I'm an adult. I'm a grown ass man. I do park session.
Yeah. I think like with phones specifically, I think, you know, the thing that you could always say with that is like, it's, you know, disrespectful to the time that people have put in. You know, it's disrespectful to the DM who's like prepped the whole session and they've, you know, taken all these notes and they've, you know, made this campaign and they've set aside their Saturday, and then all the other players who have prepped and, you know, set aside their Saturday, and then you're over there and you're like on their phone while you know, they're trying to do a thing and trying to tell a story. And I think that, you know, that's the most fair argument for like, you know, why we should tone down on phone usage, but also like, you know, they are all adults, you know, and they have lives and significant others and families and work and friends and stuff, other friends too. And so it's like, you know, you can't, you know, collect their phones in a basket and be like, no phones during D&D. Like people got stuff going on, and like you need to respect that. Like they might have to check their phone, right? They might have gotten a text from someone that's kind of important and they're texting them back. So I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, you know, and I think in session, if I notice somebody was like really, really on their, you know, if we're talking like, you know, 15, 20 minutes they've been on their phone, I might be like, hey, like, is everything all right? Like, you know, do we need to take a break, whatever? And then they might, even if they're like, oh, sorry, I was just looking at stupid stuff, you know, hopefully that'll give them a chance to lock in. But like even recently, and I'm not going to fully dox the situation, but you had a pretty important text come up on your phone while we were playing. And so you had the foresight to kind of let us know what was going on, and so we kind of took a few minutes to chill and, you know, let you get some updates on the situation so that, you know, we knew like, you know, if we could continue playing, right? Because I didn't want to try to, you know, play while, you know, everybody and you specifically was like potentially kind of stressed out, you know, there was a big thing going on, but you know. So yeah, so we gave it some time to feel out the situation in that instance, you know, and so I think that's why it's important that people are allowed to have their phones and be on them. I mean, you know, life happens. So
it's playing D&D is something you do that's supposed to be fun and not. You shouldn't be stressed out that you're missing something on your phone, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
But at the same time, like, respect everybody else. Put your phone down on the table face up, so that if you get a notification that you're like, oh, I probably should take that, you can still take it.
Sure.
But if you leave it, you know, face down on the table, you're less likely to.
Right. And I mean, you know,
play on it. And
and you know, I mean, you know, right? Like, you know, if you're being on your phone for a good reason, you know, if you're texting somebody or whatever, it's fine, you know, but like if you're on Clash of Clans or whatever, it's like clearly that's probably not, you know, very respectful to your friends who have dedicated their time and energy and stuff into this thing. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. If you, I guess I have a question though. If you did, like, let's say you started DMing again and you noticed phone usage would be really bad, what would be your kind of escalation of steps? Because like first step, and I'll take a guess here. You can tell me if it'd be different. But, first step I imagine is being like, hey, like I've noticed, talking to your group and saying, hey, I've noticed a lot of phone usage recently. Like, I just want to make sure that, like, this is all, something we still want to do and we're still interested in it, kind of thing. But yeah, what would be your process for escalating the kind of engagement of that?
You would probably start with guilt tripping, and then I'd go to manipulation after gaslighting. I'm a pretty blunt person, so I'd probably be after like one time of being like in like a group text, being like, oh hey, I've noticed that like people have had their phones out more, and then if it's one person, I would then probably be like, hey dude, can you have your phone out less? We're trying to do something.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just me. I'm a little straightforward compared to a lot of people.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Well, at least you don't have to guess what I'm thinking.
That is true. I do appreciate that about you. I hate that feeling of like having to text their group and like being like a boss, being like, hey guys, I've noticed we've had a lot of... I fucking hate doing that. It's so miserable.
I know, like, and you're the DM, so it's like you're kind of running the shows.
I'm the DM, or even when I'm not the DM, I feel like people, I don't know what it is, like people have just kind of, I feel like I'm like the de facto like organizer or like leader or mom of the group, yeah. Which sucks, because like every time we've had to like kick someone out or like address a problem or like figure stuff out, like it's always fallen on me. It's terrible. But yeah, that's pretty bad. That's the cross I bear for being like the primary DM. And typically... Well, actually, that's not totally true. I was going to say typically it's been hosted at my house, but honestly, at this point, if you break down how long we played at each location, I don't know. Might have been
at my places more.
Because it was at my house for a very long time.
And then it was at my house.
It was at your house
for a very long time.
The game room at your parents' house.
And then
it was
we went to your apartment for a long time.
No, well, there's Gavin's apartment. It was at
Gavin's
first.
apartment, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was at my apartment, and now we're at your house.
And then we went back to Gavin's apartment for a while.
Oh yeah, true. We did go. Oh yeah, we did go back to and then we got kicked out to Gavin's garage for a while, and then
now we're at my house, and
it's a very good situation. Good place. It's the best. It's the best spot we've had.
It's the best spot we've had so far, for sure.
Yeah. So, I guess. One more little follow-up. So you said, like, you're pretty blunt. You talk to people about it. Like, let's say you've been blunt and you've been like, hey, like, can you guys, not be on your phones as much? And you've still noticed it. Like, do you think you'd ever make a hard and fast rule? Or, like, how do you think you'd escalate that if you still felt like it was bad?
What's the situation? Like, is it one person doing it? Is it multiple?
Let's say
these hypotheticals.
Let's say it's kind of everybody.
Specific.
Yeah, let's say let's say you've noticed everybody's been on their phones kind of a lot. It's bothered you. You brought it up in the group chat. You got more direct. In person, you said like, "Hey, I've noticed you guys are on your phone a lot." Like, blah blah blah. And you've still noticed it. Like, what would you? I'm just curious if you were willing. Battle to the death. I'm just curious if you would be willing, because I don't know if I'd be willing to make like a rule about it. Like,
I'd probably would. I'd probably be like, all right, everybody's been on their phones too much. The phones go in the center.
Yeah.
And if you're on it, there better be a damn good reason.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to, just because
it just frustrates me so much. And like,
no, for sure.
I feel your pain because like you obviously deal with it way more than I do because you're just forever DM. But like when you spend all this time trying to make something that's like super fun and it's getting blown off, like that fucking sucks super hard. And there's been times where like I've noticed that you've noticed you getting frustrated, and I've been like I don't know if it's with someone else's behavior or my own, and I try to like compensate for that a little bit in my own behavior. Just being like, I'm trying to be like a poster child.
Well, and there's been a couple times I can't remember getting super frustrated at somebody on their phone, but there's been a couple times where the thing that really gets me is when I'm trying to is bad vibes is when I'm trying to describe something to someone and they're kind of on their phone. And they give me like hold on a second, like, oh, you know, let me finish this. And I'm like, man, like,
you interrupted me for that.
Yeah, like the world doesn't,
revolve around you, brother.
Yeah, like I'm gonna keep, you know, if you have to be on your phone, even if it's an important text or whatever, and you got to be on your phone, like, you know, respect, do it. But I'm not gonna like pause the game. You know, your situation that we had recently was a little bit different because like potentially the game was gonna have to be canceled if that escalated, right? Like we were gonna have to, you know, probably go home and do other, you know, things. So, you know, that was different. So I was giving you some space to figure that out. But in like just a normal situation, like I'm not gonna pause the game. You know, I'm gonna keep going with everybody else. And one time, I will call Big Gavin out on this because I'm comfortable calling him out, and he knows.
He'll listen to
I mean, yeah, he's fine. He will listen to it.
He's a big fan.
Yeah, but this is a long time ago. And, you know, I mean, we all have stuff that we've done that probably wasn't the coolest.
Yeah, for sure.
We were playing, this was not our most recent superheroes campaign, but it was when we were playing Masks. Yeah, originally playing Masks. And he had like a kind of successful romance moment with an NPC. So it was kind of this like, you know, on cloud 9 moment where he was flying over the city and he just had this, like, he just kissed the girl, right? It was literally what it was. And he was like flying over the city. And I had this idea of like, as soon as he left this place and he had, you know, kissed this girlfriend, potential girlfriend or whatever it was, love interest, and he was flying away, he was going to get like grabbed out of the sky by this villain that was like from his background and like had, I think, like killed his father or something, like this villain that he had like very, you know, had been entangled with before, and it was going to turn, you know, from this like really, you know, happy moment to like this really deadly battle with this villain, especially because he was alone, right? You guys, we weren't in a group at this point. And so I was planning for that, and then as soon as I started to describe this thing flying through the air, like coming towards him, he was like, wait. I want to play, you know, and he wanted to like play some song for the moment of him like flying through the air, which is fine. I get what he was going for. It was a very movie moment of like flying through the air. You just kiss the girl and like this song plays.
It's a good scene to have.
It's a good cinematic moment. But he like really like hard cut me off as I was describing him getting attacked by this guy. And so like then this song plays for a second. I'm like, okay, great. So this thing comes flying out of the sky, and I remember that kind of. There was a moment where like he's trying to find the song, and I've just been like really like hard cut off, and I kind of looked at other people, like they were making eye contact and I was making, and I'm like, like, all right, like I felt a little what's a good word, little, I don't know,
sidelined.
Yeah, I got a little sidelined or whatever, but yeah, it was fine. Obviously I've forgiven him for that. Big Gavin, if you're out there listening, we're all good, brother. It's all love. But yeah, that was like one moment I remember specifically of like a distraction where I was like, which to be fair, it wasn't even a distraction. He was actually trying to do something in the game.
Gavin, it just made Keegan want to kill you for several months.
Not several months, for sure. It was just, I think it's setting up a dramatic moment as a DM. Setting up like a plot twist or you know, something like that, or like setting up, you know,
hard.
It's really hard, and you really do like put yourself out there, right? Like you're nervous, right, because you have this thing that you're about to say, you know, you're about to give out some information or reveal that a character that they liked is a bad guy or something. Like I always get really anxious like the moments before, like leading up to it, because I know, you know, and I want to deliver it in a way that's cool and surprising, and you know, I'm kind of looking for a certain reaction. I want you guys to be surprised, or you know, all these different things. And so I think that was a moment where like I knew it was going to be a big story moment. I knew it had a lot of implications, and it felt very cinematic, and it was kind of all leading to this, and I'd planned for it. And then you know, I kind of got like shut down a little bit. So I think that honestly is more what happened and why maybe I was a little bit frustrated. But yeah, those like setting up those moments as a DM is difficult. It does feel like putting yourself out there, for sure.
Yeah, and you are pretty good at hiding the being nervous. But there's definitely a couple times where I've been like, oh shit, something's about to go down. But like,
yeah,
I don't think anybody else notices it. We've just been close enough that I kind of can.
I get really
Get at those.
smiley. So I mean, there's
You
definitely
too
some anxiety
get
stuff.
smiley.
But
I do the same thing. I do the same
as
thing.
soon as I'm about to like drop the plot twist, I get so smiley because I just like can't even contain because I know you guys are gonna react. Like you guys are great players in the way of like your reactions. You know, you guys get fucking hyped or and just like in every way, right? When somebody rolls a nat 20, there's yells across the table. People slam the table, right? Which I love. Like that is like the crazy dopamine moments. And I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
But vice versa, when something goes wrong, you guys are stressed and you guys are freaking out and you guys are, when somebody betrays you, you are mad. You guys feel betrayed, which is incredible. Again, I wouldn't have it any other way. And so I always get so like smiley or anxious or when I know I'm going to drop that stuff because I know there's going to be a big reaction.
So the smile is my tell too, because I get really nervous and then like instinctively I'm just like smiling because I'm like, okay, we're having fun. I'm like, the situation, we're having fun. And I'm nervous, so it's just all teeth the whole time.
Yeah, it's all because like I don't want to give things away.
I'm just like sitting there looking down, and I'm like, and nobody noticed that I'm grinning like an idiot right now.
Yeah, it's so silly. All right, I've got one to wrap us up here. We got some more time. This comes from J-Man to Pro.
J-Man to Pro.
J-Man to Pro.
That's a good name.
J-Man DePro asks, my players just committed mass murder and I don't know what to do about it. Basically, I'm running Icespire Peak. We've played this campaign. We enjoyed it a lot.
Great module.
For 2 players, and I've added a support character I'm playing as. As they go to Gnomengard, they proceed to kill every single one of the gnomes. I don't know how they even survived it. But they managed to kill every single one, and then the bard persuaded the guards it wasn't them. So I don't know what to do now.
What the fuck? Dude, I love these games.
I love D&D, man.
That's so wild. That is so opposite from what happened to us. It's insane. Oh my god. Okay, so the bard persuaded it wasn't them. So I think the next steps is going to be, obviously the guard figures out that it's them. Yeah. You can then maybe have some kind of gnome militia try to arrest them or something.
Yeah, like track them down or something. Like just because you persuaded the guard like in the moment.
Bounty hunters?
Bounty hunters. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, just because he persuaded the guard in the moment that it wasn't them doesn't mean that people won't figure it out later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like we've said before, like persuasion checks aren't like mind-altering magic. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that idea of like people coming after them because, they did do a bad thing.
3 gnomes in a trench coat. Assassin, that'd be funny.
3 gnomes, like a detective that's actually 3
Oh my
gnomes.
God, 3 gritty gnomes in a trench coat.
That's funny.
That would be so funny.
Sherlock Gnome, but he's 3 gnomes.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
That's what I would do. So do that. Have Sherlock Gnome come for him.
3 gnomes in a trench coat, come after them.
Do that. I think that we solved it. It answered. But,
that's the best case scenario.
But this is interesting to me because if I remember correctly, which I may not, Icespire Peak was a while ago, but the thing about Gnomengard is they have been like under attack. There's like a
mimics, yeah.
Yeah, there was like a mimic in their fortress, and it's been like killing them off one by one, and they can't figure it out. So there's kind of like a murder mystery going into Gnomengard already. So,
dude, I want to know what led this party to be like, we're going to kill every single one of these little
mimic could be anyone, so let's not take any chances.
the mimic is all the gnomes.
We're going to kill every single person here.
They didn't realize that mimics can only be objects.
Yeah. Is that true? Or is there not like a
that's a changeling
shape? Yeah, it's a changeling or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I don't know what would persuade them to do that. But I would probably drop some hints that like. Well, I guess it depends. If you have like an evil party, maybe that's just the run of the mill. But if you have like a party that's like trying to like do good and save the world from this ice dragon, which is the point of Icespire Peak, then I would like start making it known that like they did a bad thing. Have NPCs talking about the tragedy of Gnomengard,
the tragedy of Gnomengard,
and what happened to those people and how horrific it was, and how brutally they were butchered. Like have it like make it a big deal at other towns, right? And people are scared that what if that this band of people, whoever they are, what if they come to our town?
Dude, it'd be pretty funny if they'd be like, it must have been an entire army. It's just 3 people.
Yeah. 2 people and a DM NPC or DNPC. So I would drop some hints that like it was a sad thing, it's a big deal, and make your players kind of question like, did we do the right thing and stuff. And then maybe have some people come after them, right? There's got to be some consequences to their actions.
But if you have a cleric in that party, you have a cleric in that party.
Yeah, that's gotta be. Their god's gonna be mad as hell. So I would do that, but I would say, and I think that this is probably my best piece of advice, is if your players decide to do a bad thing, like that, and like maybe they did it because it was funny, or maybe they thought that the thing they were doing wasn't so bad, or whatever the reason is, don't spend the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 sessions just like harping on them for doing this thing, right? Like set it up like, hey, that was kind of a bad thing, like that was not a very cool thing, but then move on, right? Because it's just a game, and like the goal is to have fun. And if the players show up every single week, and every single week they're just being told how horrible they are and bad they are because they did this thing, like that's not fun. Regardless of the reason, like I remember in one of our games, you guys through a kind of funny coincidences, you ended up like blowing up a lot of fountains in all these towns. Like one fountain had like a secret thing in it, and then one fountain was like an entrance to a different thing. So like it wasn't intentional.
Another fountain was simply just a distraction. Also.
Yeah, and then you guys wanted to do a distraction, so there was like a couple things. You guys kept blowing up these fountains, and it was kind of an inside joke.
But you guys kept doing a terrorism.
But but the fountain that you blew up for the distraction, like I had mentioned multiple times, like this was like a kind of central square for the town, like people were around, right? And you guys went through it anyway. So I kind of described in multiple ways that like
you guys, I was in jail when this happened.
That is true. Yeah, you were in jail because
the whole point was to try to break me out of jail.
You did another bad thing or something. I don't know. But anyways,
I broke into a castle and got caught.
Oh yes, you did get caught sneaking into a castle. So I told the other guys that that there's people around and stuff. So one of the consequences of this blowing up this fountain was that like some civilians had died, some like innocent peasant people had died, and I made it known, that you guys did kind of a bad thing, and and I think everybody's character had a role play moment of like feeling bad, like we acted too hastily, we did the wrong thing, and now our mission to save the world is even more important because I feel like I have a personal reason to like atone for some bad stuff that I've done along the way, which is cool.
Was an angel.
Yeah, little Lucas, he was an angel. He could do nothing wrong. So I think but don't harp on them forever. It's still supposed to be fun, but like make some realistic consequences for those actions.
Yeah, I think the person should not be mad at them in any way, but you, the DM, should set up reasons why the world is mad at them.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. I think that's a really good way to put that.
That's funny. I want Detective 3 Gnomes in a Trench Coat now to show up.
It's good. It's good.
That's really funny.
I don't have to like do the outro with all of our stuff because we did the intro this time, Jake.
I'll do a little outro. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, end of another episode. This was a good one. I just want to point it out. Share the episode with your friends. Tweet about it. Do whatever. We have not, and I imagine probably will not, pay to advertise in any sort of way. So to grow the show, just recommend it to your friends.
Yeah, we would love for more people to hear it and engage with it. Email us. Our email's in the description, or leave a comment about anything, advice you have for your game, or just a funny story or bad story, anything. Comment anything. We would love to read it, talk about it on the show. Also, just going to throw this out there. In the next week or two, we would really like to update the picture that we use for the podcast. So if you are an artist or you know an artist that would like to submit something, please email that. Cool. A listener would be awesome to do it. Please email that to us in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we would love to put it up there. We'll credit you in every episode. I would love to have your name down there in the description as credit for our picture, our banner, or anything like that. If not, we'll probably find an artist somewhere that would like to do it in the next couple weeks and pay them to do it, and probably credit them as well. But yeah, if somebody thinks that would be cool or fun to do, I would love to have an actual listener do it. So
that would be awesome.
I think that's all I got.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.